Well, week 5 is in the books, Bachelor Nation. I was not expecting us to go from 16 women down to 6, but here we are. From my rankings last week, I only missed one woman in my top 6, and that was Natasha. I had Sydney as my number 6, but Natasha, she jumped from 12th, and she's still here, so she's my big error from my list last week, so I don't feel too bad about that. Getting 5 out of the top 6, pretty good in my opinion. Let's get into it. So in 6th, I have Natasha. Uh, we haven't seen her have a lot of quality time with Peter yet. It's hard to just straight up pass a judgment on their relationship until we see them really in a one on one situation. I still think it's very telling that out of the 6 women left, Natasha is the only one who hasn't got a one on one date. I think Natasha is probably here just for the fact that she did a good job of steering herself clear of all the drama through the season. I think that shows that she's a very mature woman and not willing to fall into the pettiness of others. Uh, I've been enjoying Natasha. I don't see her getting the final rose at the end of this. That's why I have her last place on our list of 6. But I think we're definitely going to get to see her in Bachelor in Paradise this summer. I'm assuming there's a Bachelor in Paradise this summer. I'd be pretty disappointed if there wasn't. And hopefully we get to see her and Peter advance their relationship in the coming week. In 5th, I have Victoria F. She just didn't step up to the plate this week. She had a second one on one date. It was kind of billed as being the do over from the Chase Rice disaster. And I think it rubbed a lot of the women the wrong way that she got a second one on one date before many of them even got one. Especially when, like Natasha, who we just mentioned, is still here and the only woman who hasn't had a one on one date, while Victoria's now had 2. But on that group date, she really just wasn't able to answer any of Peter's questions. She ran away when things got difficult. That's something that we've seen her do repeatedly this season. She seems to be having trouble expressing herself to Peter, and I don't know if there's enough time left for her to correct that, but I felt that out of the 6 women left, that she probably hurt her chances the most this past week. And then off camera, she was once again involved in some more drama with the whole Cosmo, her winning the Cosmo shoot, and then Cosmo putting out a statement this week that they were not going to feature her on her cover due to her involvement with a group, a Marlin group, which ran a White Lives Matter campaign. Cosmo says they're not going to stand for any form of hate or racism, and yeah, I think Cosmo made the right move here. Okay, moving on. Number 4, we have Kelsey. I felt like there was a pretty close between Kelley and Kelsey this week. I still kept Kelsey in 4th. Part of that is just my personal bias. We've seen everything she's done away from Peter, and none of her actions are really qualities that I think anyone would be looking for in a partner. The way that she handles herself in those conflict situations really rubs me the wrong way. Like, we look back to Champagne Gate, where she's finally sat down with Hannah Ann and was really just fishing for an apology from Hannah Ann, when, like, Hannah Ann just saw a bottle of champagne, opened a bottle of champagne, like nothing malicious about that. And then we had her and Tammy on Monday go at it again. And when they had their conversation, it was really all about Kelsey and what she wanted and needed out of that conversation. And there was no give and take between Kelsey and Tammy. And that's just something that really, I just don't like it about Kelsey, okay? So 3rd place, we have Kelley. Kelley had a one-on-one date this week, and Peter was extremely tough on her in that one-on-one date. They had a very strong initial connection, then a good chunk of the season got derailed by drama, and then Peter comes at Kelley with basically saying, like, are you even taking this seriously? Well, Peter, how can you expect her to take it seriously when up to that point you hadn't shown anyone that you were even taking it seriously? She did call Peter out on giving roses for drama, and I'm glad that somebody said that to him, and I'm glad that it wasn't just someone leaving the show just being like, oh, by the way, the blah 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 blah, like Cheyenne did when she left. I think it's good for some of that stuff to be brought to Peter's attention, especially when Cheyenne was like, some of these women aren't who they're portraying themselves to be. And hopefully Peter can figure out who those women are and find someone to be with at the end of this. But yeah, let's move on to number 2. We have Hannah Ann, same as last week. I felt that they made the biggest steps forward this week in their relationship. Peter was hard on Hannah Ann in their one-on-one date, but I felt like they resolved things and ended that date much closer than when they began. I am not totally sold on her getting the final rose quite yet, but I do have her in second place behind our number 1, and has been number 1 since the start of the season, and that is Madison. I really felt initially that Peter was very attracted to Madison right out of the gates. Just you can go back and look at the way that he's looked at her throughout the season, and I don't feel that that's changed. That he gives her the puppy dog eyes, and he looks like a man who is in love. As the season has progressed, Madison has kind of moved to catch up to Peter. I felt initially there was a little bit of a distance there, but now I think Madison is all in, and right now I think that is who Peter is going to end up with at the end of this. So that's my rankings for at the end of week 5. Pretty wild for us to have dropped from 16 women down to 6 in 1 week. Hopefully things start to get a lot more serious from here on. We'll be getting close to hometowns and fantasy suites now, down to the final 6, and I'm excited to see how Peter's journey ends. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.